Hi everybody, Michael Snyder here, Seattle weather guy. Just thought I'd do a quick briefing here on what to expect later this week on into next week. As you can see right now, we have a beautiful mid-latitude cyclone off the coastline here. This is going to swing up towards the northern tip of Vancouver Island and bring us some blustery weather on Thursday afternoon. Gusts to perhaps 40 miles an hour, nothing too crazy, maybe some nuisance power outages. There's another system that's going to come and get close to Vancouver Island also on Saturday, and that's going to bring similar speed winds, I believe. Then we're looking at the potential for something a little bit bigger on into next week, but there's a lot of uncertainty with regard to that. The European and the GFS have been switching back and forth on what to expect, but I'll kind of give some hints as to why we might be looking at something a little more significant that we're going to see Thursday or Saturday. So today is the 63-year anniversary of the 1958, November 3rd, bomb cyclone that made landfall near Hoquiam, Washington. This brought hurricane force winds as far inland as the Dalles, Oregon, through the Columbia Gorge there, some west wind, and it raked Olympia, Washington with hurricane force gusts also. It really brought some powerful northwest winds through the Seattle area too, probably caused some pretty good power outages and tree damage. At a raised anemometer, they had 59 miles per hour, which is just raging out of the north for Seattle. It would probably have been really destructive. So kind of the point I'm trying to make here, for the 1958 storm, if that happened today, it probably would be somewhat of a surprise storm. It was a quick, compact low that just developed out of the Pacific, and we probably wouldn't have more than a day or two lead time on just how strong a storm like that would be. It created some of the most powerful gradients along the Washington and Oregon coast ever, including defeating the Columbus Day storm. So we do have the potential to be surprised by windstorms here in the region. And next week has a little, it resembles that in some cases, in some ways. So let's take a look here. This is 1958. You can see just a small, tightly compact low. This thing just barreled in to Hoquiam, Washington, tracked almost due over Olympia, just missed SeaTac with the southwest hurricane force gusts, and then moved on inland. And if we look at the winds, or the temperatures aloft here, you can see some very cold air, of course, over the polar regions. And if you get towards the equator, like always, it's a little bit warmer. But our storms are generated by this gradient between the polar and the equatorial air masses. Trying to keep it as simple as possible here, but you can see why this storm had that west to east track, because you have this cold air established already. Let's go ahead and look at what we're looking at now. If you see this, you take a look at this, you can see the cold air established over the Gulf of Alaska all the way up into Alaska, and this is again at 18,000 feet. But you can see why this storm here today is kind of tracking north towards the Queen Charlotte Islands. That's just how the gradient is aligned right now, and that's just the direction it's going to move. So there's going to be a pressure rise behind that. It's going to give us some wind here, but nothing out of the ordinary again. So let's move into the future a bit here. Here we're going into Friday. You can see that cold air kind of moving up over the region, and we get into Sunday here, and you can see that cold air is being established. And now it's pretty nearby out over here, out over the Gulf of Alaska region down towards the Queen Charlotte and Vancouver Island there. So we can easily get a wave that spins up along the periphery of this colder air aloft and comes into Western Washington or Vancouver Island. It could cause a significant windstorm. We're still not out of the woods as far as that goes. Even though confidence is low, the models aren't showing a lot. They've been flipping back and forth. Yesterday they showed a huge bomb cyclone out here, and then today it's back to just having this big diffuse low with multiple centers. So confidence is very low right now. But we are in this active pattern, and you can see that as this thing ejects over us, that this is a potential for a powerful windstorm if this spins up right. So that's what we're looking at. And yeah, so if you guys like these videos, keep clicking like and subscribe so I can try to do some live briefings, maybe some live storm chases or some Q&A real time. And otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later, and stay tuned on Twitter. Thanks.